I've been looking at the book of Ephesians. A letter of Ephesians is in the New Testament, written by the Apostle Paul, and I've come towards the end of the letter, Ephesians 6. Light is an important quality to have. I was watching a couple of people who are vlogging from near the Arctic, and both of them deal with a lack of light in the winter, where there's very, very long nights. In actual fact, the polar night that continues up in the very far north in Svalbard lasts for a couple of months. And how we deal with the lack of light is quite a key. We might find that very frustrating. I know I would if I was in pitch darkness for 2 months, but it's the amount of light that you can get rather than the darkness that there is there, which is the key to surviving through that, and maybe recognizing there are other forms of light, like the northern lights, the starlight, or the reflection of the snow. So it's what your focus is, which is really key and important. Ephesians 6 talks about spiritual warfare. We can get very focused on the darkness around us, but Paul says to us in verse 10, Ephesians 6 verse 10, finally be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armour of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Are you focused on what the devil is doing, on the darkness around you, or are you focused on the light that God brings and gives you his armour of light, this amazing equipment that Paul starts to unpack, those things which are tremendous strength in the middle of a battle, in the middle of all this darkness around us, being strong in the Lord and in his mighty power, recognizing that we have a stronger, more powerful God than the enemy around us, than all the negative, all the dark things. And verse 13 says, therefore put on the full armour of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything, to stand. May God give us strength to stand, the authority to stand in his truth, to stand in all the equipment that he provides from heaven. And he says in verse 18, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep praying for all the saints. We're not on our own. There are others around us. We need to protect and support each other as well. We're not fighting this battle alone and as an individual, but we're fighting it as a group, a community of God's people. And it's important to recognize that we work together to win this battle, not by trying to do it all on by ourselves, or all on our own, and in that sort of place of defeatism and loneliness. We look at someone like Elijah, who felt overwhelmed by all the darkness around him, and yet God said to him, there's 7,000 people that haven't bowed the knee to Baal. They're not in the darkness. There are others on your team. Don't forget that. And so we need to be aware of those that God has put on our team. And so Paul is very aware of this in his letters. He often talks about praying for others, and he also requests prayer for himself as well. And so he says, verse 19, pray also for me, that whenever I open my mouth, words may be given me, that I will fearlessly make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I'm an ambassador in chains. Pray that I may declare it fearlessly as I should. We pray for those around us who are part of God's people, that we would be fearless, that we would be ambassadors for him, that we would open our mouths with courage and authority and boldness, and that we would be able to support each other in this fight, that we would be strong in the Lord, and recognizing that we're not doing this in human strength alone. We're not doing this as individuals alone, but we're doing it with God's people together. I pray that you will be an overcomer, that you will be standing in the light, that you would overcome the darkness around you, not in your own strength, but in God's strength. Bless you.